Well, hello. My name is Miriam Hasna, and I am excited to share with you a little bit more information about the amazing opportunity that I had to do a collaboration with my Apothecary brand Resonance and my friend Francesca Medina of HeyFranHey. We have been working together for a few years, creating conversations and experiences that support and promote doing the inner work, emotional well-being, health, and all around just cleaning up your energy and feeling inspired and excited about the possibilities that can come from doing the inner deep work. So, the blend in particular that I had the opportunity to create with her, we came together and decided on a shared intention that we wanted to inspire people to learn about and get excited about, and we were looking at different themes and possibilities. And the blend that we came up with is called Embodiment. Hopefully, if you are seeing this video, it's because you are one of the people that had the opportunity to receive the Embodiment box. And in that box, there's two products, and I'm going to talk about both of them, and I'm going to talk about how to use them, and I'm going to talk a little bit about plant medicine in general and how this particular blend came to be. So the embodiment concept that we talked about and that we worked through is sort of this idea of taking all of the things that you have learned through life experience, through lessons, and a lot of these ideas might be living still on the sort of like rational, conscious, logical level of the brain and the mind, and really bringing those into the body so that we can have the new change actually happen in our life, like really come to life. So it's like really bringing those things that we have been thinking about, that we've been working through, that we've been processing, really fully bringing that medicine in the body so that our relationships change, our life experience changes, our reality changes, and our paradigm changes. And Resonance in general is a brand that I created to do reprogramming, to do subconscious repatterning work, to work with clearing imprints and old programs and patterns that might be running that have to do with things that you experienced in childhood. It might be things that have to do with the status quo. And scent is such a powerful medicine because it has the ability to affect the brain in 22 seconds. So when you smell something, you're actually inviting the part of your brain to create a new memory, right? This is why most of the time when people smell a particular scent, there's also a memory that might be associated with it. It's because the part of the brain that processes scent is also the part of the brain where memories are processed. So you have the ability to sort of reverse engineer and create new memories with a scent. So how that works is if you're working on imprinting the new program or putting in the new pattern or putting in the new intention, you want to do it on the mind, body, spirit level. You want to do it not just sort of as an idea or a concept, but you really want to get into the operating system of the brain. And in order to do that, you have to sort of change the way your brain works and change the way your brain is wired. And you also have to learn how to bypass your limbic system, which is the emotional brain, the part of your brain that sort of has those reactionary, primal strategies that come from sort of like what we need as a species to survive. So for example, those emotional reactions that we have in life to real threats can then start to play out in reality when it's not a real threat, it's just a perceived threat. We all know this experience of, someone not calling us back, or something happened on social media, or something happening with our family or in our personal life. And there's not a real threat, but for whatever reason, we go into fear, we go into anger, we go into fight or flight. So Resonance Apothecary is a solution to that. And it supports you being able to say, every time this particular situation happens and I get triggered and I react, I want to instead respond with this type of behavior, with this type of thinking, with this sort of mindset. And again, this is how we create lasting change, when we do it on that level. So Resonance, again, is a brand that focuses on creating these tools for these specific new programs or new intentions that we want to put into the brain and the body mind. So again, we create these specific blends with a combination of sometimes 10, 15, 20 different essential oils, really complex, intricate blends that work not only with the idea of just, this is a scent and I like how it smells, but also the scents that have the chemistry that's actually going to affect the way that your brain is wired. And so for me, there's many different ways that you can work with these products. Real simple way is to have the spray with you and just to continue to imprint that energy signature of the aroma into your brain, while also thinking about a positive affirmation or affirming what the new program is, right? So this is something you can do in the morning. This is something you can do while you incorporate it into your meditation practice or your breathwork practice or anything else like that. But it's also great in the moment of trigger, when you actually have had that experience where you find yourself in that reactionary state and you know that you need to sort of regulate your emotions. You can bring a scent in, and this is with any scents, not just with Resonance products. You can bring a scent in and you can say to yourself, all is well. So again, what this does over time is this rewires the way that you respond to the exact same external stimuli that in the past you would have gotten triggered and reacted to. So again, this is not about reprogramming our natural raw emotions and reactions to true life threats. This is about learning to bypass that emotional brain in the way that it has kind of sort of taken over our lives, such that we have these emotional escalations to situations that are not real threats. Another thing about Resonance and my platforms in general is that I'm what is called an HSP, a highly sensitive person. And so I created Resonance specifically to support myself in reprogramming my nervous system and sort of rewiring the way that I was constantly overwhelmed from my environment with external stimuli. So tiny bit about highly sensitive people. We are very sensitive to our environment. We pick up smell, scent. We pick up more things than the average person. And we spend more time in our emotional brain than in the logical part of our brain. So as you can imagine, highly sensitive people are easily triggered, easily become emotional, easy to cry, easy to just feel a lot of emotions. We're often very empathic. We pick up on other people's energy, and we need more amounts of sleep than normal people. And if you haven't heard this terminology before, this is actually not like an energy or metaphysical term. It is a term that came from the work of a woman named Elaine Aron, who studied and researched specific groups of people and learned that there was this trait called high sensitivity. And you can learn more about that through her work or through my work. And again, I'm someone who does education and mentorship and advocacy for people who are highly sensitives, people who are extrasensories. And so again, because I understand that we have this very complex and sensitive nervous system, and because I understand that we're only about 15% of the population, I knew that we had specific needs and we would need specific tools. And so again, this is part of what Resonance is about. So when it comes to the collaboration that I did with my dear friend, Francesca Medina, in taking that sort of into context of what Resonance stands for, and in sort of knowing personally how much Fran utilizes these tools and these products, whether it be when she's traveling, when she's going to different events, she always sort of has one of these blends with her to help her sort of like set the tone for what she wants to experience, how she wants to feel, how she wants to show up. So it was just a really natural evolution for us to do this collaboration together. Fran is such an expert on so many things in general with working with products, and really like honing in on those brands that are doing something innovative and that are creating something unique. Fran is super talented in that. So it was an honor and a blessing to collaborate with her and to go in the lab with her and to have her smell certain scents that I love, and for her to talk about the scents that she loves, and for us to come up with a blend that takes these specific scents that each carry these specific intentions and put them in a bottle and make that available for you to do this work. So I want to talk a little bit about a couple of the ingredients that are in the blend, and then I'm going to talk about how to use them. So in regards to what is in the blend, one of the scents that I know that I always associate with Fran is neroli, which is orange blossom. And this is a scent that just makes, when you think about, so that it's the blossom, that's the flowers of the orange tree. And that scent is, it's and also a favorite of mine, but I definitely always think about Fran when I think about this scent. And it's just kind of like a bright energy. It's really cheerful, it's really joyful, and even the color orange sort of has a lot of meaning and intention to it. So we brought in neroli, but we also brought in petitgrain, which it comes from the bark of the orange tree as opposed to the blossom. It comes from the bark, so it's a little bit more woodsy, earthy tone, but also kind of brings through that citrus intention, and it brings through sort of like what the citrus scents tend to do, which is just bring clarity into your life and sort of like give you energy, make you feel energized. We also brought in cedarwood, and the reason why I love working with cedarwood is because all of the essential oils have really specific chemical components. Cedarwood has the highest amount of the ingredient in it that allows the essential oil to actually penetrate the blood-brain barrier. And so you're actually getting in the operating system. So it's really important to have cedarwood in these blends because it really does allow you to sort of get in there deep and to really have that internal impact. One of the scents that I brought in was hyssop. Hyssop is one of my favorite ingredients to work with. I work with it in many different forms, and it is a ancient plant. You've heard it probably mentioned in the Bible, but in ancient Egypt and in North Africa, and it is used for spiritual purification. So I thought it was really important to sort of bring that in as well. So like to kind of like let the body know we're sort of cleaning and purifying anything that we don't need, that's not serving us anymore. I also brought in holy basil, which is my #1 favorite plant ally. I've been working with holy basil in the herbal tincture infusion form for a very long time. So I love the idea of bringing it in as an essential oil. Holy basil is an adaptogen, and it is something that is really impactful for sort of healing the nervous system and nourishing the body and sort of getting rid of stress, getting rid of the way that we respond. We have the stress response to life. And I also brought in Nigella sativa, which is the black seed oil. In a lot of also North African traditions, I'm filming this video in Morocco right now. In a lot of North African traditions, the mythology around the black seed is that it can cure everything except death. So the black seed is a powerful ally, and a lot of times in North Africa, what people will do is actually crush up the seed and smell it, and what it does is it sort of clears you out, gives you a lot of clarity, and I find it to be like really activating, and just sort of in terms of like your conscious awareness, your ability to really tune in. So those are a couple of the essential oils that are in the blend. We also decided to incorporate flower essences into this holy water blend. Flower essences are a vibrational remedy, so they are created through working with the flower or the blossom of different plants And flower essences are more subtle medicine than an essential oil. They don't have any smell or any taste. They are coming through as the vibrational energy of these plants. So I also thought it was really important to bring in certain flower essences that have to do with, specifically with reprogramming, specifically with clearing out the mother wound, the father wound, and sort of anything that is specifically imprinted from our parents. So I brought in Mariposa Lily and Baby Blue Eyes. We also brought in Sanctuary, which I know is a favorite of Fran, which has everything to do with learning how to set clear boundaries and learning how to say no. We also brought in Bleeding Heart, which is for people who tend to have their heart so open that it blocks their ability to make clear decisions. And so again, all of these and more, there's about 25 to 30 different ingredients in this particular blend. The reason that this is so important, again, is because this precise recipe that we put together is what's going to allow it to do this powerful work. So for me, again, I work with these plant allies every day. How I would work with the holy water in particular is that I would keep it with me. I'd keep it available at all times. And again, I just spray it all around my body, and I would let myself kind of feel the intention and really tune in that moment and notice what's happening in my body and noticing what's happening with my emotions, noticing what's going on in my mind, and just sort of create that clear intention of, when I smell this scent, this is where I want my mind and my energy to go. Doing that repeatedly over and over again. There's also an essential oil in this box, and the essential oil is something that can be used in diffusing. It can be used in baths and showers, but the way that I actually like to work with that essential oil is to work with it in terms of as a spiritual oil, which I would use to do EFT tapping. So if you're not familiar with EFT tapping, it is a modality that you tap on certain meridian points, acupressure points. They help you move and clear blocks through the energy channels to help you sort of like move any stuck chi, any energy that's sort of balled up. And affirmations are a great thing to incorporate into EFT. You can find out more about EFT actually on my YouTube page and go through and do a process with the affirmations that you received, bringing up anything that has to do with this specific theme of embodiment and clearing out all of the old program and bringing in the new intentions. So I hope this has all been helpful. The last thing that I want to say is that anytime you're working with a clear intention of something powerful and potent that you want to do, it's great to sort of have the intention to do it for at least 30 to 40 days. That's what it actually takes to create a new neural pathway. And it also helps to sort of align the work that you're doing with a specific sort of like universal or sort of cosmic energy. Some people like to work with the moon. I personally love to work with the sun. So for me, for example, I always really set specific intentions around summer solstice. It's an opportunity to sort of like bring in all of the new ideas, all of the new intentions, all the new concepts that I want to have from this summer solstice to the next summer solstice. It's a really powerful point in time where there's just a lot of different energies that are available to support you doing deeper work. And again, this practice of working with the sun, of working with summer solstice, or working with the equinoxes is pretty ancient. This is why you have so many cultures around the world that have specific sacred sites that are set up to do ceremony and ritual around summer solstice time. So again, keeping it really, really simple, how you would do that, whether it be summer solstice or an equinox time or any other time that you feel connected to personally or feel resonant with, is to just get really intentional about what you're going to be doing on that day, getting really intentional about what needs to change in your life, really asking yourself and really being honest and saying, am I living from the place that I want to be living from? I feel like a really big theme right now is looking at the places where we're still tethered to the status quo and starting to remove those tendrils of being connected to the status quo, of thinking that our relationships have to look a certain way, of thinking that we have to work a job in a certain way, and thinking that we have to sort of follow this old blueprint, imprint of how life is supposed to go, and that we're staying in that field of like the status quo life out of fear or out of comfort or out of just unwillingness to step into the unknown. So, and we all have some of that. But depending on where you are and how much work you've done, you may just have sort of a little bit of residual stuff that might want to come up. So I'm going to be doing a lot of work around that and just noticing and paying attention to the ways that I'm sort of going through the motions and not being really intentional, and just sort of like doing lip service and not really activating myself to my full potential in different areas of my life. So I'm going to be working with the embodiment blend specifically for that theme for myself, and just setting the intentions of that I'm fully capable, I'm fully supported, I have the ability to live a extremely profound vision of my life, to fully access the dreams of what I know to be possible, even if I've never seen it done before, even if I don't know anyone else that's doing it. Why not me, right? So that's sort of the energy that I'm going to be imprinting, unlimited potential and unlimited possibilities to create magic in my life. And I'm going to be using the embodiment specifically because I already know this as a concept and I want to really live it in my body. I want to become that new me in my body. So I hope that this has been so helpful and supportive. Sending you all so much love from Morocco, and I can't wait for you all to try this blend. It's been a dream to create this with Fran, and I love it so much. So peace and love to you all. Take care.